Welcome to this episode of the Standing Ovation.
Well, I think checking in now at the mid-year point of 2023, we've seen a few things, and I think beyond sort of the broader macro environment of rising rates and where that's put banks in sort of financial positions. I think more broadly we see enterprise banks realizing even more acutely how important it is to have solid customer relationships and deep relationships with customers. And we believe, and we've seen that comes from orchestrating great outcomes for your customers and helping them achieve things, as opposed to concentrating on improving transactional interactions, right? Making a call go well doesn't make someone loyal to you when the market looks rough, but helping them get a great life goal achieved as a business owner, or helping them manage through a rather tough implementation or integration to success is really sort of where the rubber meets the road from a relationship standpoint for CX. And so I think we see banks doubling down, particularly on the commercial side, their investments in that space to ensure that they're attracting customers by helping them solve problems. When they help solve those problems, really making those customers loyal to them, and then essentially as a result growing their share of business because they're easy to do business with. And I think that's sort of where CX is headed over the next 6 months. I think we'll see more of it.
I agree. I think right now the name of the game for banks is deposits and deposit capture, and the way to drive that is to be very easy to work with. Number one. Number two, to have solutions that drive a relationship versus drive, just single point in time interactions, as you said, Tim. And those solutions are often delivered by third parties that banks can partner with. And so to make it seem like a holistic and seamless experience and make it easy to work with the bank and not have to self-diagnose my own problems and who to call, who to be in contact with based on what I'm trying to get done, you need to consider a holistic customer experience management strategy.
Capturing deposits means solving as many business problems for your customers as you possibly can. That also increasingly means partnering with outside organizations. So, in the process of trying to improve your position as a financial institution with your commercial customers, you're actually making, unless you've got a good CX strategy and a good connector ecosystem management strategy, you're actually making the job of giving them a great experience harder, right? So in the process of trying to shore up your deposit position, if you don't have the tool sets, you're in a tougher spot to deliver a seamless experience to customers, because half the time they're in the hands of partners and you don't have, often don't have visibility or control over how that goes. Right. And so I think in that respect, what we've seen in particular with commercial banks, and a handful that we've worked closely with that have done this really well, is to create, as we've talked about, sort of this single front door into the institution with an orchestration capability that delivers not just visibility into the activities of my partners, but actually control, right? The ability to orchestrate their activities, the ability to send them requests, commands, to update information between organizations, so that from a customer standpoint, it just feels like another department of the same bank as opposed to a completely separate company. And I think in that respect, we've seen successful banks drive, in this challenging environment, revenue growth, attrition reduction, expense reduction, including, improved NPS and this is important, right? Because everybody's staffing challenge, improved employee satisfaction, right? Make it easier for me to do my job pleasing customers, and you'll get happier customers and you also get more loyal employees, which is a great sort of double whammy, right? If you've got the right systems in place, because in that case, then you've got motivated people who are armed to help customers achieve their goals in as seamless a way as possible.
I would add that having a customer experience platform has become more important than ever, because you really need to have the visibility, across teams, across, to the end client, across your ecosystem. And, with more constrained resources, having more automation to drive communications, but do it in a personalized way, and to drive collaboration, is critical, and more critical than ever. And, customer experience platform does that. And it does that, across products and across journeys that can be, bespoke.
Right. And I think just to ladder onto that for 2 seconds, orchestrating that experience doesn't mean putting a sort of a thin veneer of making it feel like I'm helping you navigate a web page or a process or a form over the top of a fragmented process that isn't connected, right? It's actually, you build it from, certainly you build how you want the experience to look from the marketplace back by looking at the customer journey today and how you want it to be. But the solution, most often, like 90%, right? Sort of, you think about the iceberg, 10% the customer sees, 90% they don't. That solution needs to be highly operationally focused. How do I tie together teams, systems, activities, functions, and help deliver sort of a tool set that allows a business manager to orchestrate across internal and external organizational silos to make the experience of going across the enterprise and its partners feel seamless to the customer, rather than sort of like making it look seamless and then there's a bunch of hamsters in the background killing themselves trying to make it happen.
Agility is more important than ever as you bring new products to market, right? So you want to go, you want to drive a return on investment in this kind of environment as fast as possible, and only things that do, are going to be approved. And a way to do that is to have, enable journey orchestration, and enable it in a way that enables a business line owner or a product manager to do it, and to make adjustments to it as necessary based on customer feedback and analytics, without requiring a developer submitting a ticket, into the development queue to solve for something that's hard coded, but be able to do it dynamically, and affect the results, see the results, and make changes. And again, I think, the things that are going to get approved right now are the things that drive, fast return on investment. And to do that, you need to orchestrate journeys, and you need to do that in a no code platform.
Yeah, I mean, we're absolutely seeing that. And I think, banks are coming to the realization, sort of and everything's evolutionary, right? First, you have I've got all my own on-prem systems that I've customized to the nth degree. Now I'm using, the next generation, which is cloud-based systems, but still have been highly customized to my use case, and, rather inflexible and brittle. Now I need super agile, business responsive capabilities. I'm not going to drive those back into these cloud-based systems that, quite frankly, were built, for one size fits everyone. But, I don't have a whole lot of flexibility unless I throw tons of developers at it. So I think what we're seeing in the commercial banking space is, hey, I'm going to put my developers against the strategic activities on that core platform to make sure that my data is clean, that I've got, sort of the things are landing in the right place, that I've got the stability on top of it. And then give me a flexible platform that integrates back to that, right? That connects back into it and gives me, data in, data out flexibility, and extends that platform into the business line. And my developers now, my admins for my CRM and my case management systems are now business partners that are helping drive outcomes, as opposed to cost centers that are, a blocker to business success. And which is great for the IT managers, right? Because, like, hey, now I'm a hero because I've actually got the ability to drive flexibility to the business. And it's great for the business owners because they get the agility and responsiveness to market that Chip was talking about. There will always be excellent systems, right? None of the banks in the marketplace worth their salt have failed to invest in CRMs and case management systems and knowledge management systems. That's a given. The challenge that they all have today is that those systems are in place, have been for a while, have become large, complex, not interconnected, which is fine. They are fit for purpose for a particular application. But when I need to help a customer drive across multiple organizations in those systems, multiple systems and external organizations in a matter of days, not weeks, they're not fit for purpose in that respect, right? That, there is no amount of development in a CRM that gets me orchestration of my partner's capabilities, or that brings information to a CX, specialist or a CX associate facing off against a customer in real time with the context of the journey the customer's trying to accomplish. There just isn't. We haven't seen it. So, and that's fine, right? I think, the next generation of technology investment, which is modest for banks, is, investing in platforms that deliver that orchestration of CX across all of those existing systems they've got by plugging into them and then giving tool sets, as Chip said, visual, low code, no code builders to business managers to orchestrate outcomes for their business units. Yeah, the systems exist in every single bank. And every banker we've talked to will tell you that the process of getting something new done in that system is onerous and expensive and takes a while. That just isn't okay in this environment. It never has been, but it especially is not okay in this environment. You need to move faster. You need to have business flexibility with your teams.
Yeah, I would add too that the more the CRM is customized for a specific product, the more silos you're creating, because ultimately it can't be used by other lines of business. And so you end up having more silos, more systems that you have to orchestrate across. So you're just making the problem actually even larger versus solving for it. AI is a hot topic right now for any software company serving enterprise and B2B. And I think the large language models and the generative text systems are at a place that seems like they can can be sort of commercially available. I think the question then becomes, what makes it valuable, and what are valuable use cases? And I think the answer to that is anytime you can make people more efficient and can be more helpful in terms of getting a job done. And I think the valuable AI and just generally, but of course it then applies to CX, is when you have unique data that's proprietary data, or you have to have some kind of knowledge beyond the general web knowledge these are trained on to be valuable. You have to have metadata from journeys and insights into basically automations and proprietary workflows that the LLMs can be tied to produce unique and specific insights. Otherwise, it's not much different than how Bing is incorporated into the search engine. And so again, I think to sort of summarize, you have to have unique sector segment, company, enterprise specific knowledge and a knowledge management system to feed it, and you have to have workflows and automations that can provide further insight and become surfaces by which you can expose it.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think so taking what Chip just described and saying, so how does that work, say, if I'm in a commercial bank, how do I think about AI in the terms of customer experience delivery, right? And rather than sort of, hey, I'm going to have a machine learning model write a solution for a client, right? That we're not there yet, and I don't think, quite frankly, should we be. It's more along the lines of, I've got an AI model that's tuned to a vast trove, and this is true in every single commercial bank, a vast trove of product and solution knowledge that is difficult to access, super dense, gets super complex as soon as I'm out of deposits and lending. And I'm putting CX professionals on the front lines. Oh, and often those solutions are provided by partners. So it's not even my institution that's providing it. I need their knowledge. Now I'm putting a CX professional on the front lines, trying to help a commercial client go live on a solution or solve a problem. And here's this dense, Alexandria library of scrolls. Good luck finding the answer to the question. Well, so what AI does in that context is I'm going to look at who are you as a customer? What product suite do you have? What journey are you trying to accomplish? What journey are you on? What step are you in? So the last interaction conversation we had, look at the intent in your discussion with me, right? Through chat or other modes. And the AI engine goes, okay, I think I can see what it is that you're trying to solve for. These are the 3 paragraphs out of that entire 10,000 volume library that are going to help you in this moment. Right? That is where we've seen it massively beneficial, right? Or, I'm orchestrating a journey, I'm building that in a visual builder, and, I'm putting in a step and the AI model goes, hey, kind of like a coach, this tends to go better if you do it here, not there, right? So it's, machines plus people, right? As opposed to, sort of machines replacing people. It's very much, a facilitator and enhancer, and a large part of the benefit we've seen is managing knowledge, right? I don't want you as an individual to try to be up to speed on 14 different products that change every time we make a release. I want you to be great at interacting with customers. I'll bring you the answers you need.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's about, knowledge delivery, which means, getting the right information to the right person at the right time in context. And, the AI tools are making that even better for CX professionals.
Despite some of the turbulence we've seen in the marketplace over the past 6 months, it's still fundamentally true that the most trusted entities for managing a financial relationship that matters in the commercial space are banks, right? So I think, financial institutions, enterprise financial institutions broadly are starting from a position of strength in the marketplace in that they're trusted entities to deliver core services. Now, are they seen as highly innovative in delivering, sort of next gen solutions in treasury products, commercial solutions? Likely not. Are they great at delivering those internally at scale, nimbly, without sinking a ton of money into an internally built solution? Generally not, right? So I think as we look at the evolution of the marketplace, enterprise financial institutions have captured customer interest and customer relationships. And the key for them, as we've talked about before, is holding those and deepening those relationships. And the way they deepen those is to say, I'm going to take this great experience you have of me in the core products I'm delivering, and I'm going to make doing business with a fintech you may never have heard of feel seamless, because it's going to feel like me. I'll go sign the partnership. I'll go build the trust relationship with that organization. I'll help define the solution we're going to bring to market to you. I'll integrate to them. I will make sure that I orchestrate across them and me a great outcome for you, so that I will take basically the complexity of discovery and build and integration and go live and servicing, all those things that would otherwise be challenging for a business if I had to go direct to a third in a seamless and consistent way as a bank.
Yeah, I would add that, banks have been partnering with third parties for a long time to issue credit cards to help businesses accept payments. And so that's, nothing new. I think that it's expanding though around the tools, generally tools around, in fintech partnerships, think like cash management for small businesses. But, where even more thought needs to go is into really embedded finance and banking as a service, which is, moving the bank's services into the software that businesses use every day. And that's, a multi-party relationship, an ecosystem truly delivering to a common end client. And you have at least 3 parties, probably more, involved with that. And so to do that in a way that makes it easy to do business with you, the bank, you really have to be thoughtful around customer journeys, both buying the services in the software to activating and boarding the customer, and then of course servicing the customer. All of those journeys need to be thoughtful across what could be many different integrated software vendors or ISVs and fintechs that have consumed the bank's APIs.